How are we doing? So that did not come out quite the way I had in mind. All of my settings just undid themselves. So if I'm a little wonky for a minute, please bear with me. Gotta love when that happens, don't you? I'm gonna set you guys back on my tripod. Try not to turn my phone off in the process. All right, so I'm gonna have to kind of rearrange things. I am back out in my workshop. We finished the poodle yesterday, so I figured I might as well. And my next project is out here, but it is teeny tiny, so I can get away with sharing the workshop with it. Let's move these. Move you guys up. There we go. Now we can see what we're doing. I don't know how that page just got wet. I guess my project is still drying, so yeah. So this is a different book, if you can't tell. I don't want to change pages, so I'm just dabbing that dry real quick. This is the last one of these I'm going to have a chance to do until next week. Simply put, I got to work the next couple of days. And I am going to move this little gentleman because he is casting a shadow. I'm going to turn off my air conditioner so you guys can actually hear me. It doesn't look like anybody's popped in just yet, so my chaos will be for those of you viewing this after it posts. But yeah, so I've enjoyed these the past couple of days, so I figured why not do one more. My next project is out. I probably won't do a very long form today, so figured might as well have a little bit of fun. I am currently just going through trying to decide what color to start with, so please bear with me. You can kind of see me puttering around. Let's see if my coffee cup will fit up here without casting too big of a shadow. And if you have not guessed by now, I have a whole collection of ridiculous cups. I love them. They are just kind of part of who I am. Collecting fun and silly coffee and teacups is one of my many quirks. That is pretty, but not what I'm looking for. I think we're going to start with metallic copper. Nothing too fancy. I'm still not loving the shadow, so coffee cup's getting moved. There we go. Hi guys, how we doing? It does not show me a chat box until people start talking, so please pop up and talk to me. Hopefully today it will actually show me what you guys have to say. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Now, what I like to do on this kind is I actually like to do the coloring and then, hello, Bazooka, how are you? I like to do the colors and then come back through with a matching gel pen just to kind of add definition. Now, this is another type of shaded. It's not as strongly shaded as the ones we've done the past couple of days, but thank you. I wish I could claim this. It is actually a coloring book I got on Amazon. I very much enjoy fantasy artwork, but I personally cannot draw for anything. Hello, Hayden. How are you? Once again, I wish I could say I drew it. I cannot. I have a lot of interesting and odd talents. Drawing is not one of them. I can draw really good stick figures. I am doing well. little bit stressed today because my birds have been very uncooperative, so they've kind of given everybody in the house a headache. Some of my talents, I sing very, very well. I can play almost any wind instrument you put in my hands. I do a ton of yard art and things like that, which you can kind of see. I have 2 green cheek conures and 2 cockatiels. I love them very much, even when they're being a lot. Both breeds of bird I have are very intelligent. I've never been good at stringed instruments. I wish I could learn things like cello. Hello, sloth. Sorry. If I mess up a name or things like that, please bear with me. Pronunciation is not a strong suit. I grew up a reader, and that's how I learned I kind of guessed pronunciations on a lot of things for a very long time. I also get tongue-tied really, really well. But that is absolutely awesome that you play cello. I wish I could do. Guitar, bass, and piano is really impressive. Once again, if I didn't have the level of nerve damage I do in my hands, I would have probably taken chances to learn how to play stringed instruments. I can play basic piano, but not anything. Never going to be concert quality there. I started out with clarinet myself and basically just filled in any hole where my director needed me when I was younger. The only one I continued with after school was clarinet, which I haven't played in years, but I'm fairly certain I still absolutely could if I picked it up. It's not something we really forget how to do. Hello, Portrait of Love. Once again, this is not my artwork. I would totally claim it if I could. It's a coloring book. I'm pretty sure I got this one on Amazon, but if you go looking, there are a ton of really incredible coloring books that you can get. I personally like the fantasy stuff. I like the fun, otherworldly looks. I'm not so much one for the same stuff you actually see looking out your window. But I'm a huge fan of adult coloring. I think it's, whether you're an adult or a child, relaxing and just putting pen to paper, even if you didn't create the art, as long as you credit the artist if you know who they are. It's a great way to unwind. Please excuse me, I just had to stop and grab a drink real quick. It's a great way to unwind. It's a great way to de-stress. And it's something you can do in cases like this where you can actually just sit and visit while you're doing it. I don't know why everybody dropped out on me all of a sudden. I don't know if I lost signal or if everybody lost interest, but that's okay. Hello again, whoever just popped in. Thank you for coming to see me. And I think that might be enough of that color. So, if you haven't been in already, this is not my artwork. I wish I could claim it. I have never been able to draw. I could draw more than I can now. Before I messed up my arm, but I have never been particularly good at it. I'm going to change colors of brown just slightly. And like I said before, a lot of times I'll come in and just kind of go over things with the gel pens just to add a little bit more definition and color. And I'm trying not to shake the camera too much. You're actually sitting on my table, which is, it's a little bar table that my boyfriend actually got me for my artwork. Because while I can't draw, I can paint very, very well. And I do paint a ton of yard art, decor. Occasionally I'll pick up a canvas and paint something, very rarely my own design. So, because like I said, I can't draw. I can trace very well. So I do a lot of stencil work and things like that. I wish it was a talent that I could claim. I really, really do. One of my brothers is incredible with it. Like, he can actually make things look real. But me personally, not so much. And if you're new, if you're just popping in, welcome. I don't know how long we're going to go today. I do still have to do my long form for the day. I thought about kind of bowing out on the long form today, but I think I'm going to try and still make one. Depends on how long we're on here, because this is about the time I normally would be doing my long form. Let's see. Trying to decide on colors here. I'm going to come in with a silver metallic for this stuff. And it's not popping out much now, but it'll show a lot more later. As we add in the different tones and things like that. Trying to find one of my darker browns to do the doors and stuff, but for some reason, I'm not finding them in any of my ridiculous amount of pencils here. Here we go. That's what we were looking for. This one's called Coffee. I'm definitely happy to be out in my workshop again. If you've been here for the past 2, I was at my kitchen table, which my house is not quiet. Ever. For any reason. I have way too many animals in the house for it to be a quiet place to be. But I thrive on the chaos that is my crazy life. So, it works. And if you're still here watching, if you haven't said hello, I would love to hear from you. My chat box only moves if it's being added to. So. I promise I'm nice. I'm not going to yell at you or anything. Unless you start cursing in my chat, then I might. I don't do really anything for kids specifically, but I do know that I have kids that watch my channel, so I do try to stay kid friendly. Also that 18 plus title on a a video like this definitely takes the viewership down really far, really fast. So we do try to keep it clean. Lord knows I'm human. Occasionally things pop out of my mouth that shouldn't, but I do try to do that off camera. And I do apologize for my hand sitting in the way. I just needed to be able to kind of push down for a second there. And I think I need to move away from the brown for a little while. That is a whole lot of different shades of brown we've got going on there. Let's see. Let's do some green, shall we? I'm pretty sure I left my pencil sharpener out there. Of course I did. Why wouldn't I? That's okay. Doesn't have to be super duper sharp, just sharp enough to work. And I'm not going super nuts with this. I'm not going to go crazy trying to make every single little gap green. I just want to break up because I think I'm going to make those a series of very bright colors. Let's see, and then we've got a little mushroom field there, but we got weeds here. And we're going to go a little harder on those so they're a little darker. Kind of like a crabgrass type of thing. I am thrilled to see a few of you still in here. I know this isn't the most exciting thing in the world, but it does make me happy. And I definitely enjoy the company. This is something I've recently had somebody suggest to try, and because I do sit and I chill and I do my colors on my own. So popping the camera up, I mean, I pop the camera up when I'm painting anyway. So what's it hurt to try it when I'm doing my colors? There we go. Oh, we got more right hidden back here, don't we? My birds are definitely still going. Some days you just have to kind of learn to live with it. Oh, they're sneaky with these, aren't they? We got this guy that comes up here. So we're getting a little bit better, a little bit more color to it. Now, I realized I forgot this little lamppost here. We're going to make it this nice dark brown. And we're going to have a little bit of fun with that lamp. We're going to do the underside yellow. Just because who doesn't love a nice pop of a nice bright color? And then, oh, my birds are being a lot. I don't know if you guys can hear them, but I certainly can. They are giving their dad a really hard time. There we go. Now we're starting to get some color in there. We are going to take that same yellow and just kind of pop in these windows and add a little bit of warmth here. Apparently these people are not energy conscious and have lights on in every room, but that's okay. Even do this one. And let's see. I want a nice bright red for that little bucket. That's more of a pink. There we go. I don't know what this little bucket or pot is up here for, but it gives me the opportunity to leave just a nice little pop of color, which I am a huge fan of. We're also going to come down here and just lightly add a little bit of color to a few of these stones. Nothing crazy, just softening up the amount of brown we have in there. Let's see. What should we do next? I think we're going to use the same bright red. We're not going to do all of the flowers, just a few here and there. And we're going to kind of go through and do this with a few different colors, just a little pop of each color here and there. Doesn't have to be crazy. Just adds a little bit of life to it. I am not a huge fan of doing just like monochrome art, though I have been known to do it on occasion. I'm just kind of keeping an eye on my time too. I don't want to go too far over. So I really kind of want to try and do some of my, to hop into my long form. Actually, what I'm going to do, I don't love these as just brown. Let's add a little more life to them, shall we? And this is one thing I love with colored pencils versus some of your other pieces. So you can change the whole feel in that little tiny bit of time. I just don't feel like fairies or elves or whatever would build their home in a tree trunk would have such a boring house. I don't know what you guys think, but that's my opinion on that. I think we're going to go ahead and do this little guy over here. More of a true. There we go. Well, that made a difference, didn't it? Just warmed it up a little bit. So now, what I can also do is come back over some of these with this yellow. And this is what happens when I have a change of vision in the middle of doing something. And I just realized my colors were getting very dull. And I am not into dull colors. So that just kind of brightens things up, livens things up, makes it kind of hop off the page a little bit more. Now what I am going to do, so we're going to go over some of these rocks. Whoop, you guys can't see what I'm doing. There we go. Now I'm going to go over some of these rocks with a darker brown. And hello, how we doing, guys? And then we'll go over it again with a couple of different shades, just so that everything is not the exact same shade. And I am doing different hardness with the pen or pencil as well, which will give a different feel. Because if you go really light like this, it gives you one shade, where if you go a little bit harder, and I'm sure you guys figured that out probably at a very young age, the same way I did. I am treating this guy and this guy as mushrooms, though, because that's what they look like to me. Let's see. Which I have not figured out what color I want to make those mushrooms yet. I'll come in with this lighter, kind of yellowy brown. Just for a base dirt color. We're going to go over that with a couple of different tones as well. I'll go nice and dark for these guys under here. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump you guys. There we go. I'm just trying to see how much I can get done before I hit the 30-minute mark, which is probably where I'm going to stop for today. Ooh. No, we do not need Gold Road. Let's see. Ooh, nice darker red, brown. We're going to just go really, really light with this. And that's going to bring a little more depth. And then these shadowy spots, we're going to go a little darker, a little harder. And I think we're going to do so now we're starting to look a little bit more like I had in mind. And I am definitely going to run out of time before I can actually finish this particular piece, but that's okay. You know what? Maybe we will do a little bit of golden there. Why not? And this will just go right over top of everything and add that little tiny hint of shimmer that I absolutely love. Always have, always will. It's just part of who I am as a person. Oops. We'll add a little bit to the color one behind it as well, which I really debated against doing that one. But I thought this one was more fitting for my mood today. Now, let's add a little gold to the silver there. And just to kind of add a little bit of depth. Nothing crazy. Just adds a little bit more. And I think I am going to go ahead and stop here for now. Just simply, I've got to cool it back off down here before I start working on my project. But this will go up. They've been taking a while to upload onto my channel for a while, the past couple of times, but it will be up there if you guys want to watch it. My other will probably be up in about an hour, and obviously I'll shoot shorts whenever I have time. But until then, I think I am going to go ahead and call it quits, and I will talk to you guys next time.